Well, it's my pleasure tonight to introduce a friend who's going to be doing his qualifying speech. He's a digital marketing specialist in social media and web strategy. He's an event planner. He joined Toastmasters to overcome his fear of public speaking, like many of us did. And he completed 2 distinguished Toastmasters in the last 6 years. Today, Bond is going to share his running experience and how it has helped him navigate life, the challenges after facing personal loss. It transformed his grief into resilience, pushing boundaries and redefining success and inspiring others to do the same. Please welcome my friend, Bond Wang.
Well, okay. Thank you, Sandy. Thank you, Sandy. Summer 2023. I remember it was late summer and a late afternoon. I was walking in the park. I was wearing a pair of slippers. As I was strolling aimlessly, suddenly a panic attack hit me. I still remember what happened at that moment. My face turned burning hot, my breath shortened, and my chest tightened. Without thinking, I started to run. My slippers could barely hold as I was running, but I couldn't stop. I worked my legs. They were totally on their own, scrambling to chase one after another. I ran around the park for 1 round, which is about 1 mile, then the second round, then the third. Finally, I ran for 7 miles in a pair of slippers. I stopped because my legs couldn't move anymore. I was soaked in sweat, gasping for air. And for a moment, I thought I was dying. That was my summer 2023. If you still remember summer 2023 in South California, it was a record-breaking hot summer. However, I didn't feel a lot of heart waves. Instead, I felt a lot of bone chills. Early that summer, I lost my wife to cancer. It was a 7-year battle. We finally lost it. We did. Then a couple weeks later, our only child, my son Jack, went away to college. You see, in the span of a few weeks, my house went from being a home to an empty nest. Silence there, deafening. Then the grief, depression, anxiety, they all crept in like shadows, lingering in every corner of the house. Soon I knew it. Something was wrong in myself. And I knew it. I have to do something. Either I will move on, or I will let the weight of grief drag me down. That was my summer 2023. And then the panic attack in the park. I ended up running for 7 miles in a pair of slippers. But although I was exhausted to death, suddenly I realized the stress, the anxiety that haunted me for months, they were all gone after the run. For the first time in months, I felt alive. So I knew it. It wasn't the way out that I was looking for. Coming back home, the first thing I did, dig out my running shoes. Then I started to running. How many of you are running too from the audience? I know there is a big one here in the audience. Fellow runners. We are running for whatever reasons, whether it is an exercise for you or it's the outcome of a panic attack. I know, I got it once. It was no fun and nothing to brag about. Let's be honest. Compared to the weight lift zone in the gym, running isn't a super popular exercise. Some say running is boring, right? Sweaty, non-chatting. Runners, sometimes people come to gym just to chat, to socialize, but runners don't really talk when they are running. It's just too tough, they just can't. But some also say running is lonely. We are going to find out in a second. But firstly, a question. Do you know how long is it for a marathon? The crazy long distance. Anyone from audience, any idea?
6.2 miles.
That's right. Thank you, Edwin. But how long is 26.2 miles exactly? Well, let's put that in perspective. Every Monday night, I will drive from my home Riverside to the senior nurse house on Main Street in Corona for my Monday night Toastmasters meeting. Normally, I will drive for 40 minutes. Pretty bad traffic at that time. And Google Maps shows the distance 18 miles. What it means is that if I were running a marathon, I would have passed that senior nurse house on Main Street, Corona, in running. And I still have 8 miles to run. It's really long, isn't it? But today, I'm not going to talk about marathon. Maybe it's too crazy. Sorry, Edwin. I know you are running the ultra marathon. Maybe that is totally another universe. But instead, today, I'm going to talk about half marathon, 13.1 miles. And mind you, half marathon is also an official race in many running events. But don't be scared by all these numbers. Today, I'm not going to juggle these numbers for you. Instead, I'm going to talk about how running has helped me navigate life challenges. Firstly, I wasn't new to running. I guess my first attempt of running went back to 2015. At that time, I was a weightlifting guy in the gym. You have seen these guys, right? Working out of the gym with pumped chest, arms, maybe egos. Sometimes we thought we build muscles, but oftentimes turns out we build more body fat. My doctor warned me about my weight. My knees wouldn't last for long if I couldn't lose pounds. So reluctantly, I started to run. But I never really loved running at that time. Then came 2017. Early that year, my employer went bankrupt. I lost my corporate job. A couple months later, my wife was diagnosed with terminal cancer. Middle class life, right? The life as we knew it and celebrated just crumbled overnight. I quit the gym and hit the running trail instead. What I wanted to escape the stress. With each step in the run, I wanted to bury fear, sorrow. You know, it worked. Dopamine spike. We all know that effect. I feel that short time of relief every time after I run. So I ran further, more often, and longer, faster. A couple months later, I completed the first half marathon run of my life. I did it in 2 hours, 10 minutes. Well, honestly, for people at my age, that number wasn't bad, especially for a beginner. And soon after that, my family got helped by our friends. My whole family moved to Baltimore East Coast for my wife's cancer treatment. That was a big move. For me, between my wife's appointment and the challenges to settle in a new land, I found running became my treatment. Oftentimes, I found myself circling around a lake nearby where we lived for hours. I like the feeling of being lost with my feet hitting the trail. I ran and ran. One day, just on a whim, I set a goal for myself. I wanted to complete a half marathon within 2 hours. You know, it wasn't a small challenge. I hit the trail right away and ran to the last of my breath. I clocked in at 2 hours, 2 minutes. Wow, it was so close. But I was happy because I was seeing my excitement for running was really building up. But soon after that, life took over again. Early 2019, my family moved again, this time South California. My wife signed up in an oncology clinic at the Riverside Community Hospital. And for me, among all these chaos moves, I ran less and less this time. Also because this hot weather in South California really killed my energy for running. And soon the pandemic hit. The whole world turned into survival mode. So running totally out of my life. And slowly, it became a distant memory. Then, summer 2023, the panic attack. This 7-mile run in a pair of slippers was really a struggle. But to my surprise, I realized after the run, it not only lifted the weight of my shoulder, but also it reignited my running passion. So 5 years later, I started running again. I was able to quickly build up my stamina, run further and further. A couple weeks later, as I hit the mark of 10 miles, I said to myself, see, now I think your life is back. So naturally, I wanted to challenge half marathon again. You see, I still have this goal with me. I wanted to complete a half marathon within 2 hours. Well, returning after years away wasn't so easy. The first, not to mention, I was 5 years older. So my first 2 attempts, no surprise, they failed. What happened was my heart really wanted to keep going, but my knees, my legs, and my mind, they were all yelling at me. Stop. Hey, you, stop. These cramps, fatigue, and self-doubts, they all swirling around me, trying to pull me down. My solution, simple. I kept running. April 2024, I crossed the finish line of my marathon in 5 years. I did it 2 hours, 18 minutes. Well, much slower than years ago. But I was so happy. I said to myself, look, I think now you are back in the game. Did you know Riverside City hosts 2 half marathon races? Do you know what they are? We have some experts here. 2 races every year in Riverside. That's right. That's right. You are absolutely right. And Monday last year, 2024, was Mission Inn Run's 47th anniversary. It has got a long history. And since last year, I thought I found my rhythm of running. I signed up for both races. And October 2024, I completed the half marathon race in Mission Inn Run. I did it in 2 hours, 23 minutes. Apparently, it wasn't a great performance. I was so nervous. And I just couldn't breathe rightly. But that feeling throughout the race, unbelievable. You see the crowds that cheered you up all along the way, the fellow runners that surrounded you, the remarkable trails around Mountain Rubidoux in Riverside. I never got that kind of feeling while running along in the park. I really felt my energy for more races. Then January, this year, Citrus Heritage Run, I completed in 2 hours, 18 minutes. 5 minutes faster than the last one. But what's important this time was I wasn't so nervous anymore. So my mind was able to talk to myself. Did I tell you, runners don't really talk when they are running, but they talk to themselves. You know, this mental conversation is considered a good way to deal with mental fatigue when you are running for long distance. I still remember when I was running, I was really struggling. Then I saw the sign of 10 miles right ahead of me. Right in the moment, my mind asked me this question. Hey, you, why are you doing this? Did you know, according to studies, this question is one of the common questions that many runners would ask themselves when they reach the peak of their fatigue. Why am I running? I remember my mind was racing really fast, searching for answers to this question. My memories went back to many, many moments over the past years. And we have all these joyful moments, but also there were moments when my wife's condition got so bad. I saw this profound hopelessness. And there were moments when I fought with my teenager son. And there were moments when I myself struggled so much. Oh, I really struggled with my career since my last corporate job. All these years, I just don't know why. My job search, brutal, and went nowhere. I came to the point where I believe no matter how hard I try, life offers me no finish line. But when it comes to running, you see, the finish line is always there, visible and guaranteed. All you need to do is simple, run, just run. You know, I need this finish line. It gives me the sense of success that I hadn't seen for so long in my life. I guess that's the reason that I'm running. Another reason, also important, running is my way of grieving. Since my wife's passing, I saw it. I was on the verge of going downhill. I didn't know what to do. That was until summer 2023, the panic attack. It struck me awake. It must be God's hand that running came to me, saved me through a panic attack. Since then, running pushed me further and further, step by step, mile by mile, and finally, it got my life back. Here is my final thought on running. For me, running isn't just an exercise for you. For me, it's a therapy. It's a fight against grief and panic attack. My life, in general, uncontrollable. But it doesn't mean that I cannot win. At this time, running is the one thing that I can still conquer and I can still win. I need this win. I really do. It's a reminder that I am still alive and I can still win. Dear friends, you think It's hard to win in life, right? We are all entitled to think that way. But let's not forget, there are many, many small wins in life that we can still accomplish, we can still celebrate. Whether it is finish reading your first book, or make your first pull-up in the gym, or just set out for an adventure that you have been waiting for so long. For me, my small win, simple. I will put on my running shoes, step outside, then never look back. Never stop. Run. Just run. I think I will find my finish line. Thank you.
Yay! Woohoo!